guys, welcome to the vlog. So today we're hiking the Tunnel Bluff Trail. This one is located in Lions Bay. It's about half an hour away from Vancouver, and the first bit of the trail has been a lot of incline, but it's supposed to flatten out in a bit. The parking here wasn't easy to get, I guess. Like, there's a really small parking lot in the beginning of the hike, but you can actually park further down the road and just walk in, which is what we did. Should be a good day for this. It's still pretty early in the morning, so I'll see you guys in the next clip.
You were always so good at being an actor, making it last just long enough. Playing a game you always won. You never even taught me the rules. You tried to break me down, put this all on me. Tried to make me out to be crazy, and I played along 'cause I didn't wanna lose you.
Trail update. So we're about 2K into the hike right now, and we're still going. The first bit was a lot of steep, definitely switchbacks though, so they were bearable. And we just turned left at the fork to go to Tunnel Bluffs. So if you get confused at that first fork, definitely go left. There's a sign actually behind me. And we're almost there. I'll update you guys further into the hike.
But I think this dream was rotten at its core. Tried to fix these things, patch it up like before, but I was the fool. Went down with a sinking. Down with a sinking.
Made it to the top of Tunnel Bluffs. This is the view. It's amazing. welcome to my after hike summary for Tunnel Bluffs. So Tunnel Bluffs was one of my BC road trip hikes. I did go before all the forest fires are going on, so I would like to mention that. I didn't mention that in my Joffrey Lakes video because honestly, I filmed that way before this whole thing started going on. So I definitely feel for those people that are affected with the BC wildfires at the moment. It just seems to get a lot worse and worse every year. 2021 was a horrible year for wildfires as well. I did this hike on July 30th. And I want to mention a few things before we get into the trail. I'll get into the distance, elevation gain, and stuff in a second. I do want to mention that this one is tricky to find parking. So there was a couple choices. My friends don't really like scrambling, the friends that I went to BC with. So I wanted to stay away from things like the Chief, for example. I did have St. Mark's Summit on my list as well as Tunnel Bluffs, but Tunnel Bluffs I've had on my list longer, so I was like, you know what, might as well cross that off. It's located in Lions Bay, so you just have to, you know, drive up the Sea to Sky Highway a little bit from Vancouver. Depends on where you're staying in Vancouver. I always stay in North Van, so I'm relatively pretty close to this hike. It was only like a 30-minute drive, so if you live in Vancouver on like the north side or anything, it's really easy to get to. So the one piece of advice I have for you if you are planning to do Tunnel Bluffs is go early. I know that a lot of the hikes that I do around Squamish, around Vancouver, anywhere around there, they're super busy. They have, you know, such a huge population compared to Calgary and going to the mountains here, and you also have limited parking at the trailhead. So definitely go early if you want to find parking right at the trailhead. If not, you can park on the street by the school, and that was some advice I saw on all trails, as well as someone at the trailhead parking lot actually told me I could just go back and park near the school. So this is paid parking. I guess before it wasn't paid parking, but as of recently there is a fee to park there, and I think it was around $16 for the full day of parking there, which, you know, is not horrible, but you do have to consider that for sure. If you are planning to hike Tunnel Bluffs, get there early, and you do have to pay for parking. There's also houses there that offer up their own personal parking for a fee as well. It's definitely more than what the paid parking costs, but you can do that. That is an option as well if you cannot find street parking. So pay attention to that and get there early for sure. There was a parking authority person checking people's plates when I got there, so they really enforce it in BC, that's for sure. This one was a distance of 13.6 kilometers with an elevation gain of 719 meters. So I know All the Trails lies about this a little bit because it does say it's like 10K or something like that. And that's what I told my friends. I was like, oh yeah, it's 10K. It's actually like over 13 to get to here. There is tons of other trails and hikes that you can potentially do in the area as well if you want to keep going, but we just hiked to Tunnel Bluffs this day. You get a really amazing view up there of the bay and of the ocean, so this trail is really straightforward, really easy to follow. There's a couple places on this trail where the trail forks into two different trails, but there is signage on BC trails. I always mention this in all of my BC hiking vlogs. There is really well marked trails in BC. They're not like hiking in Kananaskis. They're not like hiking in Alberta at all, where trails are not official trails. They're not marked. There's no signs, nothing like that. BC trails 100% are marked really well, and they have signage. They also have kilometers, so they have as if you were like 4x4ing. If you've ever gone 4x4ing before, there's like trail markers on the trees where it tells you how far you've gone. So that's another thing I really like about BC trails. If you're like 3.5K into the hike, you can see like the 3.5K on the tree, which is awesome. So overall, the elevation gain on this one starts from the get-go. It's pretty straightforward. Like I said, you get all of the elevation gain in the beginning of this hike, and at the end it kind of calms down a little bit. So keep that in mind if you are the type of person that likes trails with a lot of switchbacks, or if you like the elevation to be right at the end. That's not what you're getting with this one. The elevation gain is right at the beginning. You gain the elevation pretty quick, and once it flattens out, it's super nice. I kind of like that. I like getting the elevation gain over in the beginning, and then it kind of chills out for a while, so you're in the forest for a lot of it. So if you do this on a hot day, you are kind of shaded by trees, which is really nice. There is a few bridges near the top, which were fun little river crossings and stuff like that. So I wouldn't call this hike a scramble at all, and a lot of like children and a lot of families do it. But when you get near the top, you do have to kind of use your hands a little bit to maneuver around the rocks. The rocks are pretty grippy, and it's not like you're on scree or anything. It's literally like a rock face, and you're kind of just climbing on top of that rock face, and then your viewpoint is really beautiful. This is very reminiscent of things that I've done before. Like there's one in Deep Cove called Quarry Rock, and it's kind of like the same thing when you're at the top, kind of the same sort of rock viewpoint where everyone just hangs out up there. This is a very busy trail, so in order to get photos and videos and stuff up there, you gotta get there early for sure, or you will be faced with a lot of crowds of people like we were. So that is one thing to note, and the view is incredible. I really enjoyed it, and I really like lake views, ocean views and stuff like that for hike. This kind of reminded me of Sorrel Ridge in Kananaskis, but instead of the lake, it was the ocean. Super pretty, highly recommend it. Definitely has all the views and all the rewards when you get to the top, so definitely check this one out if you're headed to Vancouver, or if you live around Vancouver. This is a really, really good trail. So that is all for this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys soon in my next one. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. I upload 3 times a week, Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.
I let you in deeper.